guys? So we're back with a new video, and on this one, took me a while to get it set up because I needed to get the correct software so that we're seeing something totally different than your average vaping video. This one is going to be the big topic. Okay, I feel as if I'm chock full of content, but I have difficulty conveying everything at once to you guys because it's really difficult to mentally put vaping into chapters, right? Because it involves buying things and trying things and interacting with others, whether you go to a brick and mortar and you talk to other people or just watching vids on YouTube and things like that. So you will need to watch all of my videos in order to get the general whole understanding of things. Okay, but today's topic, okay, is that we're going to be talking about shopping. Okay, most people like to do tutorials on builds and things like that, but I promise you guys in my channel that I'm going to bring something totally different to the table. Okay, so with me over here, okay, is a website called gotsmoke.com. Okay, gotsmoke.com is a website where these guys are just shopping and shopping and shopping all day long. Okay, and they're always looking for the best deals out there. They have the top 5 deals of the week. It's very organized. They have a search bar over here, so it's very easy to if there's items that you're looking for specifically, like let's say we're looking for that new Aqua, right? We do a quick search over here, and then boom, it'll show you like all sorts of places that's going to have the Aqua clones, or the real one as well. See over here, $175. So this site just looks for all the new stuff and the new deals constantly. Okay, it's not just a clone page. Although you'll notice that many times the best deals are obviously going to be the knockoffs. So you'll find that the most common link, okay, is going to take you to a site called Fast Tech. Okay, now here we go. You'll see that Fast Tech as a company, there's plenty of other people who are always talking positive things, negative things. I went to this company called Fast Tech, I bought this, I bought that, blah blah blah, whatever. I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm going to do something very different. The one thing that I've been recently having kind of a gripe with is that you'll notice that a lot of comments, not just from subscribers and but also the reviewers themselves, they talk a lot of trash about China. Okay, now it's difficult for me to address this because obviously I'm Chinese and I don't want to come off as like all China pride or something like that. But what's real is real, and what's wrong is wrong. That's the whole reason why my channel exists to begin with, because I truly believe in the idea that bad things happen when good people do nothing, right? So you'll also notice that a lot of times people are always asking very strange questions, like, hey, which would you recommend? An Aqua or a steam turbine? Well, one is a Genesis and one is a tank system. You're asking me, would I recommend apples or oranges? You're not asking me, apples to apples. Now, I don't blame people for asking those kinds of questions, because the reason why you ask those kinds of questions is because of all the bad information out there that's leading you to believe that it's fair to ask something like that. You see what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, they're both fruit, so why not? It's actually deeper than that, and a lot of people are just, they're irresponsible with the info that they give out. Okay, so the thing about China, okay, is that a lot of great stuff actually comes from there, even though a lot of knockoff things come from there too. Okay, now certainly, knockoffs may or may not be just as good as the original. Okay, I'll do other videos where I'll prove the differences between these things. Okay, but before we get into that, I just want to point some stuff out to you that you may or may not already know. Chances are, as a newbie vapor, right, You probably have items like a Joytech Ego Twist, a Kanger Pro Tank or something like that, or you might start off with like a Inokin MVP, and right. When you hear these names, right, Inokin sounds Japanese, Kanger sounds kind of German actually, Joytech, right, H Cigar sounds kind of American, Tobiko sounds Japanese again. Actually, all these things are China corporations. Okay, the people who make, you know, the EVIC, the people who make you know, the SVDs, and these are all China companies. So a lot of great things actually come from there. All right. Now, when you go to Fast Tech, you'll see like a lot of people talk about like, oh, I don't know if it's real, blah, 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 whatever. If something is a clone, they'll say it's a clone. But generally, things that are from China are generally pretty authentic, and I'll show you why. Okay. Fastech, the company over here, let's say we go into the contact us section, right? You'll see that over here it says that they are in Kowloon Bay, Hong Kong, right? Okay, now when we go to companies like Inokin, they are in Shenzhen, China, right? Kanger Tech over here, Shenzhen again, right? Joytech, same thing, Shenzhen, China, right here, okay? Shenzhen H Cigar, Shenzhen Tobiko, ePro, right? Everything is right here. If you ever bothered, okay, to get on Google Maps and just look at where Shenzhen is, it's right here. And then Kowloon Bay is right here. So they're really not far from each other. Okay? And that's why they're able to get MVPs and iTaste VVs and, you know, all sorts of like Kanger Tech, the coils and things like that, much cheaper than you can, because this guy's buying it from its own backyard. Alright, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, alright, let's talk about shop. The reason for this video is that, like, I want you guys to be able to start to shop more like a pro, okay? Meaning that, like, a lot of times you guys are going to come on it and then, you know, ask one of the reviewers and say, hey, what do you think of this mod? What do you think of that mod? What do you think of this atomizer? What do you think of that? Okay. Instead, you could come over to this website after seeing, like, you know, what deals are out there, okay, and then look it up on Fast Tech, okay, and then let's say we're going to start off with something one step past newbie vaping, okay, we're going to go pick out a battery mod, all right, so obviously they're called mechanical mods, right, so we just type in mechanical mod right here, and then boom. All sorts of selections, pages and pages worth of this, okay? Now, other than selecting the mod that you think looks nice, okay, there's a lot more to it, okay? These things operate basically like a Newegg page. If you've ever shopped for, you know, tech parts and stuff like that, there's going to be specifications over here, okay? You really need to read everything on the web page, right? When does it ship? Certain things ships next day, some ships in 3 days, some ships in 15 days. Now you gotta understand that stuff from Hong Kong takes about 10 days to get to the US. Plus, there might be some customs, you know, checking for drugs, checking for, you know, whatnot. So if it takes 10 days, 15 days, plus the shipping, plus the customs, you know, you could be waiting for up to a month for your supplies. But then again, you can't complain because of the price, right? So over here, I'll tell you the material, things like that, you know, but other than this, right, what you really should be looking for is also the dimensions of the product, okay, 24.9. Now, most things, let's say a really, really common mod, right, that everybody has is either a Nemesis or a Nemesis clone, right? Okay, so we're going to use this as an example because this is one of the most popular mods, that's all, okay? The width is 22 millimeters, right? Okay, 22 millimeter item, and then let's say we're going to go look for an atomizer for this. We're going to get a Genesis atomizer for this, and we want it to fit nice, okay? A lot of hype about the Kraken, right? So here we go, Kraken Genesis style atomizer for 12 bucks, 13 bucks, excuse me. You scroll down over here, and then you see the width of this thing is also 22 millimeters. See what I'm saying? So when you screw these two devices together, it's going to fit very, very flush, okay? You also want to keep in mind of, through the photos, the polish of something, the colors of something, so that like when you mix and match things, it's going to make a lot more sense. And then again, the details in the specifications will tell you, how well stuff is going to generally fit together. Okay. Other than this, right? Reviews. Always read reviews, right? That's what we do all the time. But one thing that's very interesting about this, okay, is that they have a discussion area, which is kind of like a mini forums, but for this item in specific. Okay. Many times when an item first comes out and nobody has bought anything yet and there's no reviews on it, there's already discussions about it. And in the discussions, there's actually plenty of knowledgeable people who's going to notice stuff about the item that you may not have noticed. Like they'll say, okay, in photo number 4 over here where it says vicious ant, this is not the correct font of blah 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 whatever. So, right away there's speculation of whether this thing is, a one-to-one copy or, kind of sort of not really, right? Okay, of course you're going to have trolls every now and then because, it is the internet. But as long as we can mentally filter out like all those troll comments, you will find very knowledgeable things every now and then. Like for instance, I've noticed that every time there's a discussion about like a certain mod, people are always asking for the brass version, the brass version, the brass version. And I finally made a comment saying like, well, why is everybody so crazy about the brass version? Because, nothing matches brass. Well, at least at the time, there was no gold atomizers, there was no brass, colored atomizers. So why would you get the brass version? You have a brass base and then a polished silver atomizer. It's kind of clashy, isn't it? Then people said that like because certain people are allergic to certain materials and they need it to be in brass so that their hands don't get an allergic reaction. And that's a pretty legitimate answer to me. I stand corrected. Right. So there's going to be a lot of stuff in these discussion areas that you will be able to pick up and learn, okay, that you won't find on YouTube, that you won't find in other places, okay? So stick with these 2 websites first, okay? Use your GotSmoke. GotSmoke will also take you to other pretty cool websites too. But the best thing about GotSmoke, right, is that if you use this, go to the coupon code section. And then they have coupon codes for all sorts of websites for 10% off to 15% off. Some things, more ridiculous. Look at this. Steals the 25% off at Bomb Vapor. I haven't been to it, but, it's better than nothing. It's better than looking it up on your own, right? So everything is right here, right at your fingertips. And whatever you need, it's all, it's just more simple. So if you have any more questions, comments about like, hey, I want to get this, I should do that, I should, leave the comments below or write to my inbox directly, and I will help you guys out with that, okay? Take care, guys.